fantastically said. I think before we are capable of saving the country, the men need to save themselves. And I think that's what we're trying to convince them to do. Make them understand that you only live once, and your biggest regret on your deathbed will be all of the chances you did not take, all of the times you were not brave. We can live with the loss. We've all lost. Laying in bed thinking, I didn't even try, that's far worse than any loss is ever going to be.
Amen.
There is going to be a huge cost to being courageous, but the cost goes down every time someone pays it.
Yes.
And people are already paying it, you're paying it, I'm paying it. We've already paid the highest possible price, and it's time for everyone to stand up, conquer themselves, love their families, love the people around them, create a bunch of beautiful children, and stand up for your country, because if you don't stand up for your country, you're not going to.
People, if you're watching this, you may not know this, so sit down and pay attention. Yin and yang, old Chinese philosophy, joy and pain, light and dark. There is no up without down. There's no such thing as permanent happiness, because then it's not happiness, is it? You only feel happiness because you felt sad. You need the polarity to even experience it. This is what people don't understand. People are going through life going, I deserve to be happy all the time. You're not a child who has, his 2-year-old who got a toy at Christmas. You're a grown-up. You've got responsibilities. You have things you need to do. You have pressure. You have commitments to fulfill. You're not going to be permanently happy all of the time. There's going to be times you feel a bit pissed off. And then that goes down to, then there's two types of people. The people who pull themselves up by the bootstraps, like you said, who think, well, I'm unhappy about my current situation, so what I'm going to do is change it. Or the people who go, I'm unhappy, it's not my fault, I call it a disease, I'm depressed, oh, no wonder I'm fat and live in my mother's basement, I'm depressed. No, it's just complete garbage. And people use it as an excuse for things. I have it all the time. People message me and go, I'm overweight, what do I do? I say, go to the gym. They go, I can't because I'm depressed. I was like, you think you're fat because you're depressed. The reality is you're depressed because you're fat. You got the wrong way around. It's simply a situational feeling that's telling you you're unhappy with your situation, or you're unhappy with certain circumstances, and you need to change it. That's all it is. It's an evolutionary mechanism to prevent you living a life that humans are not meant to live. If depression wasn't situational, why do people not like going to jail? Because when you go to jail, you're in a situation which is depressing. It's simple as that. If we can be happy all the time regardless, then how come we don't just all go catch a case and sit in a jail cell and get 3 meals a day? How come, if this is a universal disease, does it have country borders? Certain countries are more depressed than others. Why does it stop at a country? Surely it affects all the human race the same. No, certain countries tell you to get over it and get on with your life, and certain countries mollycoddle you. And when you're talking about the stigma, I come on Twitter and say openly, I have sex with multiple women. I have 3 girlfriends and a bunch of other chicks. And I get attacked. If I come on and say I'm depressed, everyone's on my side. If I say I'm a heterosexual male, then I'm the enemy.
You can't say that. How dare you?
Going all in on Bitcoin might backfire. Going all in on property might backfire. But going all in on yourself will never backfire.
Right.
So my mentality currently is I just need to make sure I'm my absolute best self all of the time, and I am permanently motivated to do whatever it takes to win, and I'm the most adaptable. Darwin said it's the most adaptable of the species that survives. It's not the biggest, it's not the strongest, it's the one that identifies that the forest is disappearing quickest and grows grows some fins and jumps in the ocean. Yeah. So it's adaptability season now. Here's the thing that's interesting. I, as a man with enough money to never work again for the rest of his life, am spending my days consciously searching and actively planning and trying to identify trends and new ways to make money and new patterns to make sure that I'm not caught last when things do finally shift or change.
Beginning, when you start, you always have that passion to enjoy yourself, to spend time with friends, and to have fun. But in the beginning, not even with 14, 15, 16 years old, I didn't feel that. Maybe after that, with 18, 90s, 20s, yes, I started to feel everything was different.
And in that time period, did you find there were a few people that you gravitated to or who gave you that sort of motivation to say, okay, I can do this?
In the beginning, probably was my father. My father in the beginning pushed me a lot, not a lot, a little bit, to follow my dream. In the beginning, with 7, 8 years, it was my father. because he saw that I had some talent, and he kept pushing me to play not only in the street, but we had a local team in Madeira that they call Andorinha. I don't know.
And a story I'll tell you with real quick. I tried once to get in the Air Force to be an Air Force pararescueman, and I quit for fear of the water. I was 175 pounds. I left the Air Force 4 years later at 300 pounds. I went from 175 to 300 pounds. There's a long story in there on how that came to be. But I sat around and read a book on the Medal of Honor. And those guys, all I wanted to be was an uncommon man. And my whole life, I was not that. Much worse than that. I read stories about men like you, Doc, who had the courage to jump on grenades and stuff like that. So I came home one day from working at a job called Ecolab, where I sprayed for cockroaches. Made $1,000 a month, weighing 300 pounds. And I got home and I watched a show on Discovery Channel of guys carrying boats and logs, Navy SEAL training. And I decided to make a change in my life. And I called the recruiter up, and he asked me these questions. He had to meet a certain age, like a certain height and weight limit. I was 6'1" and 300 pounds. He laughed at me. 7 other recruiters laughed at me. One recruiter finally said, "Come on in, I'm too busy to talk to you on the phone." He didn't know how much I weighed. I walked in the recruiter's office and he looked at me and he said, "You're fat and you're black." I said I wanted to be a Navy SEAL. I didn't know there'd only been 35 African-American Navy SEALs at that time in over 70 years. He said I basically had to lose 106 pounds in less than 3 months because of my age. I was getting too old. I came back 3 months later, 106 pounds lighter.
What are you doing? Why? You know, like, my biggest ever outrage is when, this was about 4 years ago, is when I was still verified on Twitter before I got banned. And I said depression wasn't real. And I know that's like a really controversial take. And my point was very simple. My point is that depression is a natural instinct inside of men. And it's something that is designed to show you that you need to change something about your life. If like you go to jail and you're depressed, it's not because you've caught depression, it's because you're in jail. This is why. So if you feel depressed, you need to wake up and go, well, why am I depressed? And how can I change this? I had people message me saying, you don't understand how it feels. I'm fat and I can't get a girlfriend because I'm depressed. I said, no, you're depressed because you're fat and you can't get a girlfriend. Right. You got it the wrong way around. So when I said depression wasn't a clinical disease and it's simply the result of not living a life that you truly enjoy and you're not happy with, it blew up. It went huge. I had Hollywood stars. I had J.K. Rowling and the guy who plays the Incredible Hulk, and everyone was coming for me. And when this was like the most controversial I got, and everyone was trying to cancel me. And at the time, I was doing television commentary for the cage fighting here in Romania. And when I went into work to commentate, the owner of the organization called RXF, which is like the Romanian UFC, he had a stack of emails like this. Shit. Where people had Googled me, found my employment, and emailed him saying I'm a misogynist and I'm fucking encouraging suicide and all these crazy pages and pages. And he sat down there and goes, "What's this?" I was like, "Bro, in the West, this is what they do." And he was laughing out loud. He's Romanian, so he's reading the emails, going, "These people have no life. What are these people?" I was like, he goes, "What do they want me to do?" I was like, "They're hoping you're gonna fire me." Right. And the whole boardroom was laughing, and they threw the emails away, and we carried on with life because we're not in a society which is held ransom. I'm lucky to live in a society which is not held ransom by these people. But in America, if I had a normal job, it would have been it. You know, it's absolutely crazy now.
That's how I've lived my entire life. I don't know anything about that, but people go, "Man, you have such a strong will." It's something that you build. Like, I never forget, I was on a podcast one time, and this dude goes, "You were blessed with a strong mind." Like, the hell are you talking about? I was blessed with a strong mind. That's something that you have to develop. You develop that over years, decades of suffering. and going back into the suffer. That's why a lot of people who graduate Navy SEAL training, they want to know, like, I talk about it very openly all the time. A lot of guys don't want to go back into that water. Don't want to go back into the hard stuff. It maybe not anything hard in life. Once you get through it, it's like you become a POW. Like, how many POWs you know want to go back to POW camp? None. When something sucks so bad in life, this is on this that we're talking about now, very few people want to go back. They're happy they graduated. I realized I'm the same way. I don't want to go back. I have to go back. I must go back. Because that is exactly where all the knowledge of my life exists, was back there, and what you're talking about. Well, I didn't know anything about this, but how I grew a will was constantly doing these things. To now, it's just life. I wake up, while it still sucks, it's just life. You don't sit back and like, oh my God, like, I have days I don't want to do it, but I know I'm going to do it. I know from years of just doing it. So that's beautiful, and this is why I came on here with you today. And I'm glad that you're talking about this, because human beings need to hear this. They need to stop hearing these hacks on this and that. There's no fucking hack, bro. There's no fucking hack. Yeah, you may this and that and saunas and all this shit yeah, it's great. There is no fucking life hack. To grow that thing, how do you grow it? Do it, and do it, and do it, and do it. That's the hack.